Hey there, how's it going? What is up, everybody? Irish Orangutan is back to pass along what you need to know to get better at Madden and grow your Mutt team. Enjoy the show.
I wanted to come back and talk about the top 12 theme diamonds that I did want to talk about exclusively. Was kind of rambling on at the end of the last theme diamonds video, and it was long enough as it was, so wanted to split that up a little bit and talk about these players and which ones you should look at more exclusively, and talk about some of the reasons you shouldn't look at some other players. The players that I do have on this list, take into consideration they can get to 90 overall. Also take into this does take into consideration, and you should as well, that this is going to be a very heavy investment. If you are no money spent, if you are a money spender, to go out and acquire any of these cards by picking up each of the players for these sets. Everyone knows about this. Everyone's trying to sell those cards for the highest price possible. Hopefully, enough people are just selling off those players that you're able to get them inexpensively, but that is not going to happen consistently. So, you really want to focus in on a few players potentially. And if you're not going for Kurt Warner, you definitely don't want to go out and do all of these unless you have all the coins in the world and are opening up packs like crazy, because at this point in time this team will be tremendous, but these players will be passed by very quickly, and there are players out there at quite a few, if not most of these positions, that actually have better players at them. But considering you can get a times 3 chem from these players, they can really help out your team. So we'll be focusing in on the players that can help everyone's team. There are 3 players for the Redskins: Antoine Randall L., Clinton Portis, and Andre Reed. I will be acquiring at least their power ups immediately, because they will fit on the Washington Redskins theme team and be great upgrades to that team. But really, considering that, you would want to pick up those players, but maybe not all of them, just the player that fits on your team times 3. And then some of these players we will be looking at that fit in very well, so these players don't get aged out. I do anticipate these players getting a few upgrades throughout the year. By a few, I mean this one and at least one other, if not two, to get them up to that 98, 99 region in their upgrade in the future. But I wouldn't anticipate all of them being the same overall as we do go forward. But getting things kicked off here at number 12, we have Charles Tillman. He is a tremendous player, pretty much in all facets. You can see those straight 80s across the board, and mid 80s at that. He does stack up well with some of the other cornerbacks in the game at this point. As you can see, he's very physical with that 64 strength. Excuse me. Thought his catching would be a little bit better than that, so that is a little bit disappointing. But just understanding how good he is at tackling. Think Jalen Ramsey. He is 6'2" as well, so he's going to be someone like Mel Blount or Ramsey that even if they don't get an upgrade for a while, they can fit on your team, at least play in the red zone and cause a lot of issues. This Tillman would be a great slot for your team today. At number 11, we have Jesse Tuggle. I did have a couple of cards of him growing up, so it is exciting to see him in the game. This is one of the players that I might actually go out and get. As you can see, my backup linebacker is not all that strong. I do play Anthony Barr there quite a bit, but really could use a second middle linebacker, since I do like to run 3-4, especially if I'm having issues against the run. Not going to be nearly as quick as Shazier, but he is going to be a tremendous fit in the middle for you. If you don't want run a 3-4, he might not be the best fit, but if you also did not get Shazier as your captain, he's going to be someone that might be necessary for you, because he's going to be able to shut things down that a lot of middle linebackers are not able to do at this point in time. Coming in at number 10, I have Jon Runyan. I did honestly have him higher up on my list, considering right tackles are not all that prevalent in the game. And right before I did start recording, and while I was starting to edit the video I recorded previously, I did remember that there is another right tackle for the Eagles right now that is one of the best out in the game. So, really, there are options that are very similar for his position and are out right now. The Deerdorf actually matches up halfway favorably to him at this point in time. But if you need the best run blocking right tackle in the game, he could be a tremendous fit for you. And understanding what Deerdorf and Lane Johnson can do playing the tight end position, Runyan can be a tremendous fit in a heavy run system as well. Or if you have not gotten a right tackle, the other two are going to be less expensive since Runyan has came out, but this Runyan is going to be a tremendous fit. And linemen are going to be consistently on this because looking at their stats and looking at Runyan at the beginning of the year, he is tremendous across the board. His pass blocking finesse is the one other knock, really, again. John Henderson. He is someone that, if you are an absolute upper echelon player in this game, you probably want him right now for your team because he will be able to eat up the run like nobody else. He is 6'7", has that 88 block shed. He's only going to be able to go up that one overall with his power up to that 90, but with that, he's just going to be able to shut things down. And later on in the year, once he gets his next upgrade, he's going to be 6'7" with the ability to shut down the run absolutely. So it really would be advisable to have him in your 3-4 or maybe even a 4-3 to shut down that section of the field. Coming in at number 8, we have Jordan Gross across the board, being able to protect the quarterback. He is absolutely elite, just a little bit less athletic than a Trent Williams, can run block slightly better as well. Trent Williams and him really match up very well. Williams does go into that set for Clinton Portis, so that might be a little bit pricey. But just something to consider. He's going to be one of the best left tackles in the game, and he's going to be able to get a good upgrade later on in the game. So just could be someone that you need to go out and get. Really, linemen that I do have on this list are based on kind of prevalence of other players in the game and kind of what they can bring to you right now. Something I did want to note, as I did bring up Clinton Portis, I did not have any running backs on this list. The running backs that did come out, all of them will be tremendous fits, especially if you can get them up to that 90 overall with their power up. Deuce McAllister is going to be a tremendous power back. Clinton Portis is going to be the best overall, and Corey Dillon is going to be right behind him. But they're right in line with Marcus Allen, and new running backs come out far too frequently to have one of them any higher on the list. Or on the list at all, excuse me. Number 7, we have Corey Schlessinger, because I tried to make myself mess up by saying 7 and Schlessinger in succession. So, this player might not be the most glamorous player to go out and get, but considering all the other fullbacks that are in the game and the other ones that potentially will be coming out, Schlessinger actually looks really, really solid. He's not going to have the perfect lead block. He's not going to be able to get up to 90 until his next card, which, excuse me, I take that back. I'm actually going to double check that on Mudhead, so give me 1 second and I'll be back with you. In double checking that getting to the 90 lead block does not happen, he actually does get to 90 lead block and 90 impact block for that, so that just kind of helps solidify where he is. Shouldn't necessarily be any higher or lower based on that, but does make him someone that if you are a very heavy eye running team, he is the most ideal player for you. Coming in at number 6, I have Mel Renfro. It is kind of scary how straight across the board he is 86 to 88 overall. He has the high agility that is absolutely, wanted and needed for the best cornerbacks in the game. As you can see, Patrick Peterson, Gilmore, Lattimore, all are players that excel at that. Lattimore and Slay a little bit less so. but you understand how well Gilmore and Peterson can man up with people. His man and zone coverage kind of being that close together will allow his next card to be even scarier than this card, and he has the athleticism to kind of carry forward and be. Coming in at number 5, we have Adam Timmerman. He is someone, again, that is going to be one of the best players at his position. Helped Kurt Warner be one of the best players in the NFL at that period of time, along with Marshall Faulk. So just really exciting to see another great lineman come into the game. We do have Larry Allen, and at the other guard position, Bruce Matthews. So we do have guards that are comparable to these players, but they are going to be elite and going to get upgrades just alongside those other players as well. Coming in at number 4, we have Merton Hanks. As you can see, this is a little bit of a depleted position, so something to consider when trying to put this type of a player together. One thing he really does lack is the hip power. Darnell Savage, if you want to use or someone, almost is better, to be perfectly honest. His tackling isn't going to be great, but with hit sticks causing fumbles along with other things, he could be perfect for you. Merton doesn't have the perfect man, but being that deep zone, he does a tremendous job at that and has the height to be able to play for an extended period of time. And of course, I hope his dance is in the game because that would make this card even better. And speaking of the other guard position and Bruce Matthews, we are comparing him with number 3, Brian Waters. He is another great guard. Just again, very even across the board. And to be honest, if you're going to be great at this game, you're going to need to be able to run and pass. So just with his abilities and his ability to excel at running the ball, being able to get to that 90 with his power up or even a balanced offense or anything like that, or zone run, and he'll be able to do a tremendous job for you. So Brian Waters is a definite grab as well. Maybe not potentially powering him up all the way with Mahomes, I think, being in that set. So that is a little bit pricey, so just consider that when you are putting him together. Coming in at number 2, we have yet to get a legend center. I'm sure that Mutthead will announce one by the time this video goes live, but Matt Burke is by far the best center in the game at this time, and he's going to be one of the best centers in the game throughout the rest of the year. He's going to be able to shut down that finesse move that certain defensive tackles have that kind of throw most centers off, so that is something to consider. Being 6'4", having that tremendous run blocking and solid strength as well, he's just someone that can anchor your team for the rest of the year. If you don't know, your offensive lineman awareness is fairly important. Your center knocks out your lowest awareness on one of your offensive linemen. At least it did last year. I'm sure that carried forward again this year, so that is something that could help you out immensely as well. And coming in at number 1, I have Joe Jurevicius. Honestly, being 6'5", with other wide receivers not being able to sprint down the field, his 90 overall card giving him that extra speed that could really help him out. His deep route running does hinder him slightly, so those deep posts he's not going to necessarily be perfect at. But if you want to run him like a Colson did, like for the Saints, and they do sometimes with a Michael Thomas to just get mismatches, he could be a huge help for you. As you can see, that catch in traffic is very high, can definitely help you in the red zone. Does not have the speed of Randy Moss, but can make Randy Moss-like catches for you with that jumping, spectacular catch in traffic, and catching all being solid for you. So just something to consider if you don't want to necessarily go all out for him and power him all the way up. You can just go out and get this card, play with him, and he'll be able to outmatch some of those cornerbacks that are even 6'2". But that's what I have for you today. Definitely let me know if one of your theme diamonds should have been considered for your team. Definitely was not biased with how high I put some of the NFC East players that were not Redskins on this list, but definitely feel as if these are the best players that did come out today and could definitely help your team at this point in time. I wish you all the best and take care.
Thank you for checking into the Irish Orangutan channel. Keep coming back for more Madden knowledge. There will be consistent videos up every week, so make sure to subscribe and hit the bell button to see them all. Come by Twitch to engage and hit me up on Twitter at Irish Orangutan. Take care and much love, everybody.